a lot of the newer RVs don't come with the standard oven. So today we're going to try out our Samsung microwave convection oven to make cupcakes. So just sitting here and watching how an oven works is pretty boring. So it is fall in the Northeast, and that means it's pumpkin spice time. So I'm going to show you how to make pumpkin spice cupcakes. So this recipe is super simple. It's just a box of Duncan Hines spice cake mix, a can of 15-ounce pumpkin, and a cup of water. That's just to make the cupcakes. And then since I like a little frosting on my cupcakes, I have a cream cheese frosting, which is also really simple. It's just butter, cream cheese, powdered sugar, and vanilla. So the Samsung microwave oven comes with 3 racks. I like to use the middle rack because it helps heat from the bottom and the top as well. So now we're gonna preheat the oven. I go 25 degrees above whatever the box instruction says, just because I feel like every time you open, heat escapes, so I like to keep it a little bit hotter so it cooks faster. Now, this recipe says 350, so I'm gonna go ahead and press the bake option and turn it up to 375. Close this and press start. Now we can start making the cupcakes. So I opened up the box of the spice cake mix and I put it in this bowl. I like to try and break up some of the big chunks in there. Now I'm going to add the pumpkin. Just go ahead and scoop this whole jar in. Make sure we get it all. Don't want to leave any pumpkin out. And then you add water. And that's it. It's a super easy recipe. No eggs, no oil. It's just the mix, pumpkin, and water. And then I go ahead and I stir this all together. And you want to make sure to really stir this up because you don't want to have any of those like white chunks of cake mix, or else they'll like bake dry. So this might take me a little while, so you might want to come back in a bit. What I wouldn't give to have my KitchenAid right now. Fortunately, that big monster didn't make the cut when we were packing up the RV. Try not to get it all over yourself. Okay. So I have my muffin baking tin here and my baking cups that I've lined it with, 12. And now I'm just going to scoop the pumpkin spice mix into each one of the cupcakes. So now the preheating's done, as you heard from that beep, and I'm just wrapping up the cupcakes, and I'm going to go ahead and put them in the oven. One other thing is, you want to make sure to turn the turntable off. Since it's a square pan, you don't want it moving around and possibly falling off the rack. Once you put them in the oven, press start so it starts the baking process, and you can just turn this knob to the right to start to set how much time you want it to bake for. These bake for 20 to 30 minutes, so I'm going to put them in for 25, so I'm going to spin this all the way up until it hits 25. So while the cupcakes are baking, I'm going to make the cream cheese frosting. Now the cream cheese frosting calls for a 1/4 stick of butter, so it's not that much here. So I'm just going to cup that, and I've had this out. You want to keep it at room temperature. It makes it easier to mix up. So there's my butter. And then it calls for 4 ounces of cream cheese. And then I also put in a little bit of vanilla. This only calls for 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then you mix this all up. So this recipe calls for 1 to 2 cups of powdered sugar or confectionery sugar. It's to however sweet you want your icing to be. So I'm just gonna pour this in to my bowl here. I want to do a little at a time so you don't get powdered sugar everywhere. And I'm just going to mix that up, and then once the cupcakes are ready, I'm going to spread it on top. So depending on how hot it is in your RV, you're going to want to probably stick this in the fridge to let it firm up a little before you put it on the cupcakes. We're about halfway done here. And as you can see, they're rising. So that's a good sign. We're coming along. Okay, so the timer just went off. Now we're gonna check to see if they're cooked. So, ooh, they look good. Move my little toothpick over here. Comes out clean. So those are my few tips. We're gonna put the icing on, and then we're all set. So this was the original baking tray that I baked the cupcakes in. So I frosted the cupcakes and put them back in, and it comes with a top. So you just put the top on, snap it on, and it's ready to go. And we'll put a link if you want to buy this yourself. You can definitely do that. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
You can also subscribe to the blog directly on LivinLite.net, and you'll receive email updates of all of our posts.